I'm excited to have all 4 members of the band, Witchwatch, in 2 interviews, alternating back and forth, in the studio with me. So here's Derek, the songwriter.
Initially, starting out, yep. I think it's going to change now that we're kind of going, rolling.
So for this record, you've been the songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And Austin.
Yes.
Who plays drums.
Play drums.
On some of the songs.
Yeah.
You described the record to me as a kind of casserole in the email that you sent to me. A mixture of different types of songs and sounds and feelings. And one of the most striking things to me, and I'm glad that we're beginning with the 2 of you, is there's a mixture in this casserole of songs which are pretty intense and driven, but the whole rhythm section is very important, like in Insect Funeral, for example. Mm-hmm. You kind of get that going with the drums. But then there's other songs like A Personal Eclipse, for example, which are just you and Anna.
That's right.
I believe.
Yeah.
So how did you determine which of the songs needed the full band treatment?
I think, I write songs differently, and, sometimes I'll start out with a guitar riff, and sometimes I'll do like a really horrible drum track on my own, and then my Insect Funeral started out that way, and I was like, oh man, this would sound so much better if someone confident could play on this, and obviously Austin swung the hell out of it, so
Austin is competent, I would say. Quite.
Appreciate it.
So I was just driving around listening to songs like, oh wow, this would sound really great if I could get some good people on here. I listen to a lot of different kinds of things, and my tastes are pretty squirrely. So sometimes I do just enjoy guitars and vocals, and sometimes I just want something super crazy rockin', or Austin also put some great softer things on, like Last Date or something. So it's I don't think of them as just the rock wrecking crew, but they definitely wreck it.
They do. So was it trial and error to determine which songs should remain in the stripped down duo form for this one?
No, I don't think there's anything that we added drums to that I envisioned or should have been without drums. But I definitely put the invite out there that if anybody wants to rock up any of the quieter songs, we could try stuff out. And some of the newer songs we've been working on are kind of, they're not as supercharged rock. They're a little weirder, so it's more like 154 era Wire versus the Joan Jett stuff that we did on a record. So.
Yeah. It's already a little weird, but I like that it's going to become a little weirder.
Oh, this is our safe record.
Yeah.
You do hard labor in the field.
So let's talk a little bit about the genesis of both the record and the band then. I understand that some, if not all of these songs were initially demoed for what would have been the second Murder Shoes record, because of course Derek played guitar and was a songwriter in Murder Shoes.
Yeah.
There is, courtesy of Ali Jafar, there is that record 4, which he kind of put out eponymously. It's beyond the first Murder Shoes, I suppose. And Ali referred to that as a combination statement of purpose and clearinghouse of unfinished works, finding the band at their weirdest and best. You can out-weird if all of your past records, and you're going to.
I would say this is a different kind of clearinghouse.
So that's the question we're kind of leading up to.
Okay.
So what's the relationship between the songs that ended up on this one and the songs that are on full? You said a different type of clearinghouse. What's the difference?
Well, there's definitely stuff that I knew was not gonna make it past trying to make 5 people happy is kind of hard.
Yeah.
So not everything I write is appropriate, and I knew that. So having written something like Burning Cedars on Fall, I totally thought there would be some crunchy rock stuff on either side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where 2/5 or My Fist would have fit in. It's kind of it's definitely there's a relationship between the 2 records, but Wait for Me I'd written for piano, so
Mhm.
like I thought that would have been like a really cool change up for the Murder Shoe sound and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And yeah, so I mean, like, you know, it's definitely a mixture of stuff I think would have made it and stuff that wouldn't, and then, you know, is I write so much and it's just hard to throw stuff away. So like, you know, with the record, there's gonna be more material, and eventually I will have gotten rid of everything that had been like lurking around for Murder Shoes for a while.
Yeah, the house will be clear.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
could do the freakiest of the freaky after that. So I don't know.
So you have 15 tracks
That's
on the
right.
record. So you narrowed it down to 15 tracks. From about how many were there to begin with in the house, in the clearinghouse?
There's definitely a joke between me and Anna about doing a double record to start off. It's like nothing would be more ridiculous and outlandish than doing that. It's just like completely ridiculous, and that was tempting. But then I think as we were like listening to the stack of tracks, you know, all the demos, it's like, well, at a certain point you just kind of check out. So I think 40 minutes was like, it's you know, it's LP length.
Yeah.
And it seems like the perfect amount of songs, you know, and I feel like squishing 15 songs in there was pretty good because it's not like 15 rock songs all in a row. So
Yeah.
it makes for like a mixtape or a compilation listening.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so let's get a sense of the chronology then. So you had 30 or however many songs, and then you didn't have a band. And then at what stage did having this collection of musicians as the new band, as opposed to coming up with a band name, as opposed to determining, well, you know, some of these are going to end up on a record with this record name. What was the chronology?
there was a little overlap. So I think the same day I told my bandmates that I was doing like a separate project was the same day that Rory and Austin, like they heard about it within an hour.
Right.
We're at the Turf Club, and Austin and Rory said they wanted to be playing on it, whatever it was going to be, and I was really excited about that because it's like, okay, this will happen pretty fast. And,
Wow, that's a good day.
So yeah, it was just Anna and I really just kind of like learning our ABCs, like which songs felt appropriate for us,
Okay.
and then
So you were working with Anna, and then you're at the Turf Club. What was happening at the Turf Club?
I think we were playing a show with Elliot Sumner.
Okay.
Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we were just hanging out, and like I know Rory and Austin from like Murder Shoes, so it's like
Yeah.
Austin was our deputy drummer for like at least 6 shows, and so I mean like that's how I knew I could, you know, hang with him. You know, like he filled in, and like I said, he's got like a really great playing style, so it's like you gotta be a little more perky, like to, you know, get the swing. So like, I don't know.
Yeah. Austin and Rory, of course, both also play with Monica LaPlante. Yeah.
So yeah, we toured with them, and I got to know these guys pretty well. So
Oh, right. Nice. Yeah.
so we're old buddies.
Yeah. So yeah, what came first? The band name, the idea of wandering and wondering. Where did you have all of that in place even before Rory and Austin were like, oh, I want to be on board?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think we knew what it was.
Yeah, you know, I had a name in mind, and you know, Anna was like okay with it. So
Yeah.
and then
Okay, so why Witch Watch?
I like alliteration. So
Yeah.
like I like Edward Lear and Edward Gorey and things like that. So
Me too.
wordplay is really good.
Yeah.
So I would just kind of jot things in my sketchbook and make notes of it later, and that was there. And wandering and wandering, I always flip it. But like that's a song that we had, super depressing song, and it's not on a record. It's going to be probably B-side in the future, but it's a real downer. So we're just
So you thought you'd save it for a bit.
yeah.
But it was significant enough to become, and it's got alliteration again, but it was significant enough to become the album name. And we'll get into thinking about like some of the lyrics and the themes in a bit, but what does the name Wandering and Wandering reveal about the project?
I think to me it kind of summed it up. It's just a lot of like coming out of the situation and reassessing and being able to then continue in a more like free nature. So it's just adapting to a new situation. So like I think like Anna and I like trying different songs out, and I'm always seeing if I can put one over on her as far as like, oh, there's no way she's gonna sing this one, and then she'll do it, and I was like, oh.
Well, have there been any surprises so far, especially of the tracks that are on the record? Were there any that you thought, oh wow, she's going?
Yeah, like stuff I'll do to like make myself laugh, and like I don't know what to put here, and a lot of the stuff's kind of over the top, and like there's definitely like triple meanings and weird jokes, and so oh, she's probably gonna sing this and avoid this part, and then like no, she'll do the whole thing. So I was like, all right, she calls my bluff quite a bit, and she's also the voice of reason. So like,
is there a song that epitomizes that, where she sticks with something that you weren't expecting her to, that's on the record?
Well, obviously, to probably everybody here, it would probably be 2/5.
2/5.
Yeah. And that's,
especially like, okay,
the castration
what
line
she's
is
going
what
to
comes
do.
mind. And I
Something
think
drastic.
Yeah.
Something drastic.
Crazy.
But these guys, these guys always laugh when I hear it, so they know it's funny. And it's just, how over the top can you go? Like, that's very over the top. So it's very tongue in cheek and silly.
Okay.
Like, I like dumb rock songs, so it's like we went up to dumb rock song.
2/5 won't do is a lyric in 2/5, and I hadn't ever really thought about the song title alongside the idea of castration before, but now I've got a very distinct image of what the 2/5 is. But why 2/5, and why won't 2/5 do?
It's a song about things not being enough.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's too much. So one implied meaning of that song could be like about drinking. Another aspect could be about just being unfulfilled. So it's a stand-in title. Like it's just like a repeating thing that will get you to the next verse, basically. But like it also has meaning on its own. But
it's significant that it's not complete.
Yes.
Yeah. And not even the glass is half full. It's
right.
2/5.
Yeah, it's definitely, I was like, it's a stabby song.
Yeah. The drums were important in that one. Did you have fun working on 2/5? It's one of my favorite tracks on the record, I think.
Yeah, it's very, a lot of the drums that we did I took a very caveman approach. and that's kind of very fun to do on drums.
So, I already referred to Insect Funeral. Is that another caveman?
Yeah, it's kind of like caveman meets surf rock.
Yeah.
I like to blend those two styles.
Are there any tracks in terms of the percussion on the record where you're departing more from the caveman / surf rock approach than you expected to on Derek's songs?
So maybe the one that is a little less caveman would be Last Date.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's very big and kind of like a huge anthem-y sounding, just instrumentally the very end of the song.
Yep.
And it's slow and it's very washy sounding. So that's a little less of the caveman style and more actually trying to be a musician.
Well, Austin is, you can hear the music, Austin is clearly a great musician. But, how did you come across the right treatment for Last Date then? Did you experiment with a few different things?
I think we did when we were rehearsing it. I had a couple different ideas for. I had one that was a little more complicated, and then the simplistic stuff kind of seemed to work best. So I think that's what we ended up doing: loud and simple.
Yeah, loud and simple. Yeah,
we settled on.
Yeah.
So, is Last Date about a last date between a couple? Or-
Well, it's a fictional thing. I mean,
Yeah.
like I mean, like I'm a sucker for jailbird songs.
Right.
So like you
Yeah.
know like just envisioning this like guy about to go to jail kind of thing like seemed like a good good way to go about it. So
Yeah.
we're doing the video for that on Sunday, and we're actually taking the route of like this thing that she's singing about already happened, and now we're dealing with what's happening afterwards, storyline wise. So it's kind of fun to like keep
Nice.
stretching the like short story aspect of things. So.
Okay, yeah. So can you give a quick synopsis of the story
Sure.
within the song, and then what's happening in the video? How is this story continuing in the video?
So the story is basically her talking about like how this is like the night that they have left before he goes to jail, and then she's kind of giving him a couple quick tips on what to do while you're there or while he's there, and that she's trying to be a stoic at the same time, and the video deals with him actually having broken out, and
nice.
the pursuit that happens and him trying to get back to her. So it's kind of it's a fun-
Great. So kind of reminiscing on the last date,
yeah.
hoping for the next one. You have to watch the video to see
Yeah, it's
see what happens.
It's very Twilight Zone, so it's going to be kind of stark and mysterious.
So the video is stark and mysterious. The percussion is loud and simple. Is that how you described it, Austin? Loud and simple.
As far as the percussion element goes,
Yeah.
it's kind of slow. A lot of the other rock songs where it's the full band are very up tempo or very snappy.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a little more feel and kind of, we let that one breathe a little bit